Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to PhotoBiz Live. This is Joanne from the PhotoBiz team, and today we're being joined by Lou Everling for a webinar on making Instagram work for you. With this webinar, Lou will guide you through Instagram and using its tools. With so many social media resources available, he'll answer the question of what to do with this one. Learn how to use hashtags, videos, photos, and tagging builds an audience for you. In addition to getting the opportunity to learn from Lou in today's webinar, we'll have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar. You can submit your questions using the chat tool, and they'll be answered after the presentation. You can also join in the discussion on Twitter by using the hashtag #PhotobizLive. If at any point during today's webinar you have any difficulty hearing the speaker or seeing the slides, please use the comment box and let us know. We'll also be recording this webinar, and it'll be available for replay on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/photobiz. With that being said, I'll turn things over to Lou.
Hello, Joanne. Thanks so much, everybody, and thanks for joining us today. You can, she kind of hit it there, so you can get us on Twitter at PhotoBiz or at Lou Crew, and if you're on Instagram and you want to follow, just follow at Lou Everling or follow these great folks at I Love PhotoBiz on your Instagram too. They're just awesome. There's a lot of fun to watch and entertaining as well. So let's get rolling here. I guess I better make sure that I'm on the right key there. So the only thing that, they say that the only thing that is constant is change, and man, with social media, they're right. It's constantly changing. So there is one constant of that. And today we got some really fun things we'll talk about. And one of the biggest questions is Facebook or Instagram. There's really no correct answer on that as to which is better. It's really depends on your industry and the plan of action you're pursuing. That truly is the million-dollar question. So with Instagram, for those that don't know what Instagram is, it's a free photo sharing and now a video sharing application. It was originally started as just a mobile app with the iPhone. Eventually it branched into the Droid platform as well, and now it's tripled in its size since doing that, and it's now they actually have a full website for engaging folks from any computer as well, so you can visit it on your desktop. At one point in time, the only way you could actually access Instagram online was you could set up your account there. There was nothing more than that. You really couldn't view images. It was just you kind of put your information in there and dealt with your account settings, and that was it. But now, since it being acquired by Facebook, of course, they've kind of changed that whole melee around. So now as Facebook is working more towards your the mobile crowd as well, they've added video advertising inside Instagram. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But it's a perfect way to get on the ball now and put yourself in the on this new curve with Instagram. Seems like a no-brainer, especially as Facebook is kind of looking to move more towards video advertising as well. We'll talk a little bit of that later as well. But you can kind of see where that's going to go. You'll line yourself up in some great ways. And it's another way to share your life, family, or friends, and more by connecting this to Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Foursquare, or Flickr even. So you can really spread that out. One of the big things you want to work on with getting involved in Instagram for your business is content strategy. The audience is vast, and with the addition of that Droid platform, the popularity of this app has boomed even more. It also has an emotional appeal, so you want to kind of plan out some things with your photos. Plan your message. Photos always appeal to visitors in ways text never does. And the simplicity of Instagram, it puts photos at the forefront with the text being very secondary in what's going on. And now with the video application, short messages are even easier to get out. You also create some brand intimacy with that. The photos and videos will reveal what's behind the curtain of your brand or your company. You can really make it personal, and that's one of the things that PhotoBiz does so well. If you follow them, you can watch them. You almost feel like you're at the office with them. People can relate much more to your company seeing what goes on inside there every day, whether it be customer service or the support team, the marketing group. They're always doing something. They're always doing something fun and are very engaging. But people can relate to that much more than an inbox message or a crazy email coming to your mail, your mailbox every day that we're constantly spammed with, or even direct mail pieces that come inside. I'll spend a lot of time just checking out various things on Instagram. Another company that's really fun to watch is the new Dollar Shave Club. It's, you know, they're competing against the high-price razors. They have an incredible campaign, and they've really launched it all over the internet for the most part. And to watch their videos on their YouTube channel, their Facebook page, their website, it's just awesome. And they are also on Instagram, and they do these short content messages. They have stuff with beard advertising as well, and it's really funny to watch them, so you can get really amused, but they really do react in many ways. I actually subscribed to the group to check them out, and when I posted my package had arrived from them on Instagram and the whole little melee and hashtagged it with them, they responded within about 30 seconds of that post going up. So they gave me a shout out as well, and you know, it really engaged with that. So I wanted to follow them even more. And they have a great product too, so that helps, as does PhotoBiz. So they use the hashtags PhotoBiz loves me, and so, you know, that's one of the great ways you can find images that are from PhotoBiz fans. It's very engaging. So make sure you follow the I Love PhotoBiz account, and I can't thank them enough how great they are for bringing so many things to us. So as we talk more about engaging, we'll see we have hashtags, and so I'm going to bring up some hashtags examples here, and you'll see right inside this area of the blue up there above, and we see some of the I've done a hashtag search of PhotoBiz loves me, and so there's images that have popped up of folks who've taken photos and posted them up using that hashtag. So we see Crazy Man, we see some hot dogs, we see the marketing team, we see booths at various conventions and whatnot there. You're going to get all kinds of good stuff on there. But you can run contests through this. There's so many things you can do utilizing the hashtag or the hashtag search. The last thing I want to talk about too is this is a great way, as you're setting up your Instagram, is to check out the competitors. See what they're doing right, see what they aren't doing, and then you can up your game. Are they responding to clients or simply blasting out images and texts and messages through their Instagram imagery? Today, it's every bit as important to engage. If someone leaves a comment, or you leave their comments and you don't participate in active conversations, it really doesn't make the whole thing fun for anybody. So, you know, as you engage with these folks and you comment back and forth, it'll help you build a following, and it'll really build strategy. So check and see if your competitors are engaging, if they're posting regularly, and you know, sometimes they may not even be active. So we just want to give PhotoBiz another big shout out for bringing you these webinars, and then you can make sure you hashtag your questions on Twitter at PhotoBiz Live. So we will answer anything you have afterwards, and that gives us a chance to respond in their public forum through their Twitter. So next thing we want to talk about is how you can build and curate your plan. So what you want to do is determine what your audience may want to see, and what are you going to show. How do you build that content? How are you going to engage them? Are you going to do it through hashtags or hashtag contests, or maybe comments or followers? How do you get them there? Well, what are you going to talk about? You want to check and see what your strategy is going to be and what your products are. Maybe you have a certain product you want to showcase. And then once you know that message, you can then start snapping away. Photos with that, the photos, for those who are not on Instagram, we're going to pull up some samples here in a second, but you basically take your photo with your mobile phone, and then you can add these crazy cool effects. Videos are done the same way. And it's got cool effects too on the videos as well. But you know, one of the things you can't do, you can have some really cool effects, but it doesn't make up for bad video. So make sure you got some good content and a good message that you're going to push forward on there. So as we be taking a photo, this is what it would look like straight out of a camera. So you can see here I've got the old school PhotoBiz pens and then the new school PhotoBiz pens. And I've put a hashtag example on there so you can see what that looks like, as if you were going to put that up. And then what we would do is, once we take the photo with the Instagram app, I'm going to have to the right there is, it comes out square. We put a little frame around it and a little kind of vintage look to it. So both platforms have a little bit different filters. So the iPhone users will see a few filters that the Android users don't see. So that's one of the things. Keep in mind with that. So they won't always look the same, but there is some pretty neat stuff on there. And then as we go over here, this is going to be a sample of what it looks like. What it looks like while using your phone. This is if you're utilizing. This is a screen capture of the phone as it would be. So I was taking a picture of the computer screen as I was writing some of the things for this. So you've got your little snap button down in the middle in the blue. You've got the video button to the right, and then if you have an image that's already on your phone, that lower image down in the lower left-hand side will let you upload an image that may already be on your phone. So you don't have to use the app to take the photo. And then this is after we've snapped the image. You'll see down at the bottom there are the effects. So we can put those crazy effects on there, and there are about 12 different effects on the Android system that you can slide across the bottom and apply to your image. And then there's what happens when we pick it out. It creates a little frame around it. And there are several other apps too in the app market that you can repost from Instagram. You can add hashtags. You can check your followers. There's like InstaFollow. There's too many apps to name that allow extra things to go with. There's Collage. InstaCollage is another one. You can create really cool, fun collage images utilizing 3, 5, 6 images from an event and pop them into there as a collage. So there's a lot of things once you get into Instagram you can find and really work on. So some photo ideas. When you're creating your content, you can create exclusive Instagram content. That's a great way to do it. The only place for people to see or showcase certain things will be on your Instagram account if you really want to build some followers that way. I love the way PhotoBiz shows its employees having fun at work. We talked about that. The crew, they even have fun after work. So it's kind of one of those places, it kind of makes you want to work there just because they have so much fun. This though, builds a great relationship, and that today is more important than ever. So what I think in that is, we feel like they're in their events. As we watch their Instagram account, who wouldn't want to do business with someone having a great time? It's kind of the same thing when you make a phone call, and then you feel like you know those folks. You really know who they are when you meet them at a trade show. We already really feel like we've known them for a long time. And their personal insight, is just amazing. So you put that in exclusive photos and videos, and it personalizes that whole event. And then you can do this. Some of those leaks for new products and big companies coming out, they're not leaks. They've intentionally done that. So you could kind of use this for that way to sneak peek something out. Maybe it's a surprise. Maybe it doesn't reveal the whole thing in behind there, but it's just very appealing for the way that can happen. So people really get to see some of the cool stuff that's coming out from you. One of the things I liked, two guys that I know real well that are utilizing Instagram to a neat way is Dan Freiwalt and Rod Evans. They do behind-the-scenes images of their sessions. They do images from the session. It's really fun. I mean, it's really cool to follow those guys because they do a great job with that. Talk a little bit more about hashtags. Hashtags simply are keywords that are useful in helping others find you, and they provide a path to your content. And really it's about establishing your brand and what you do and expanding your reach. You can attract more followers that way. Using the hashtag allows them to find you through their search. And we'll show some ways. We've already talked a little bit about that, but I'll show you some more examples in a second. You can hashtag those topics through unique tags. So maybe it's something specific. You can do your brand, you can do other things, you can play a contest, and maybe it's exclusive to you. So we use Muse Photo Design, and then we'll do stuff with Senior Picks, whatever. We were using one at a bakery the other day, so we used the Cupcakery. And then we started putting in some dessert names. Well, next thing you know, we got followers now from Texas that do a similar kind of thing, and they're a bakery. But it's kind of fun to go on and see what their account is as well. And then you can use generic tags as well. The generic tag, well then people will search for those looking for things that generally interest them. And what's going to happen is they're going to find you through that, and then you'll establish a new follower there. But one of the things I don't, recommend is over tagging. 4 to 5 is pretty cool. It's okay. But I see some that have 20 or 30 in there, and they really over tag, and there's more tags on it than there is message, and it really just, to me, looks tacky and looks like they're desperate for followers. So try not to really over tag on that. It just looks cluttery. So engaging, and this is the other thing, because one of the questions that was asked of me was, what good does it do to have followers from all over? Well, the world is really a small place. So you never know who has a friend who might be in your area that needs your services or something you do. And one thing a friend of mine, John Woodward, once said was, planes go everywhere. So, that's true. We can work anywhere we want to work and anywhere you choose to work. And you're only bound by your own limitations that we place upon ourselves. So why not think big and get to travel? Everybody likes to travel a little bit. And if you can travel and work, why not? So we'll get back to engaging. So the engaging with followers is pretty simple. Just post your events and the end results. You'll get that result. Utilize the geolocation tools that are within Instagram. So you can put photos of the events you're doing. Make sure you're putting stuff up. Name the venue. Hashtag the venue you're working at. Hashtag the name of the event you're doing. People will look for that, especially the venues. If you hashtag the venue, say a wedding photographer puts in a couple of the reception halls or the churches at the event they're doing. When people go to get married, they're going to hashtag search places to get married, places for receptions. They'll find that. Then your images will come up. They'll find you. So it's a great way to do that. Much like the old days of blogging and the original. Put those tags in there, those places you're working. Create contests to have followers submit their own images and hashtag with something fun, and then they can provide comments for those. You can do captions, do a Where's Waldo kind of search type thing. The captions are always kind of fun, and that creates more games and things that you can do. And then we can get to the photo map. You're going to see inside your Instagram account, you'll have this photo map. So here, this is kind of just one quick snapshot. It shows images that were shot in various places around the country, and it kind of lets you a tracking of where you've been and what you've done where. Again, we'll give PhotoBiz another great shout out. Don't forget to hashtag PhotoBizLive and send those via Twitter at PhotoBiz. We'll answer any questions you might have. And we can show some examples of the desktop here. For those that want to log onto their computer and they want to go to their Instagram account, you'll see here's a smattering of images from my profile that we've done. And so we're always putting funny stuff up here and things to engage. And I see my selection of images there. Kind of an interesting Saturday afternoon. So we chuckle about the one in the middle being, hey y'all, watch this. So, but that was the 4th of July. So we put things up that aren't always advertised. But the photo map is a great way. So an example of some search engines things here. So we go to the search. What we do is PhotoBiz. In the tags, you'll see there's 2 tabs. There's a tag. And so what I did was hashtag PhotoBizLoveMe search. Then then over in the left tag, what happens here is users. So I can search the user account within that as well. And so back to the tags post, you'll see once they did the search, it shows there's 139 posts hashtagged with PhotoBizLoveMe. As we come back to here, now you'll see the description of what comes up after those searches. So we have the hashtag PhotoBizLoveMe. There's more images that have been hashtagged with them, and it's various, looks like various conventions. A cool cupcake down there, and then Crazy Man doing something fun, and then the tattoos. We got more tattoos. It looks like the convention, and then over on the user side, it's going to show some of the latest photos that have been posted by Instagram. So there's a fun way to kind of present, and that's how you find people. You can just, if you know their username or things they might have hashtagged, you can check that out. And then photo tagging. So photo tagging, what a great way to engage your clientele. It's much like the Facebook days and the early days of Facebook when you tag someone and all their friends got to see it. This works much the same way. You bring it in. You can, when photos are tagged of you, it's brought up. Now in the lower right-hand corner there, you'll see that you click on the tab via your Instagram account and your app, that'll bring up the photos of you, and then you can have your own little section there, and people can find that. But utilizing tags can increase your engagement up to 53%. So now what that means for you is you show off your brand, show off your company, you add some credibility, and let others advertise for you. Now we're going to get back to video. So here's the Instagram video. I'm just going to have you take a look at this quick little snippet here. And that's the PhotoBiz account, and it's showing video tour of PhotoBiz. And of course there's a Ping Pong Friday, it looks like. So what a lot of fun. Now here we are at our cupcake sessions. We were videoing that, and what we did is just add segments in, little tiny tips, little bits at a time, different areas, different angles, and then what's left over, and then we do a little of this. Of course I couldn't hold my phone steady there, so the video is going a little out of focus. Sorry about that. And then we put the cards, the business cards up to give us a little promotion in that, and we put those out. So let me see here. Now then, I've got a little technical difficulty there. So what happens with video? It's 15 seconds of recording time. That allows you to control the burst by simply holding the button. On your Instagram app, you'll see the highlighted blue tab in the center of the phone there. You basically hold that. You'll have a big red button for your video. You have the ability to edit with video, and that's really nice with the Instagram. The filter effects that are unique to the photo side of Instagram are also applicable in the video as well. Not all the effects are there, but there are some that are unique to video and some that are similar to the photos. And I forgot to mention this, but Instagram video also has image stabilization. So it's really pretty cool. You can do some very nice video with the new smartphones. The audience in Instagram has over 130 million users, and it's growing pretty significantly daily. So you've got a vast audience you can reach with whatever you're trying to promote. Also in the video, you can select the cover image in there. You basically, once you're done with the video, you can go through it, then pick the best still image to become your cover image, and then as you search through the stills, that becomes the video or the image they see to start the video, and then it'll play from there. So it doesn't have to necessarily be the first frame of there. And then viewing the videos is just simple. It's just like viewing your Instagram account. Basically what happens is you're going to roll through it, click play, and it'll play. Now what's really cool about this is when you tie your accounts together, you tie it into Facebook, it's going to play in line with Facebook. So what happens is the desktop users don't have to leave the application of Facebook to view your video. Unlike other things we're used to on the photos, they'd have to leave Facebook and it would take them into an Instagram thing and then back. The videos play right inside there by just simply clicking play. So you can keep your audience captured. And like I said before, this is going to line up very well when Facebook launches their video ads. You're going to look very similar to some of that good stuff. So you're going to help yourself, but it's free advertising. So you can kind of work into many different ways for your advantage on that. Now, some will say, I have a Vine app. So Vine and Twitter kind of line up. I've got video with my Vine app. And that's kind of the big, which is better. So the difference between the two is pretty significant. One, it's the length. And with Vine, that's its own independent app. It's a great app. It's been around a little while. It's been around a little longer than the Instagram video. But you got the length of time. So with Instagram, you got 15 seconds. Vine, you have 6 seconds. Pardon me. How you shoot it. Basically, what's going to happen here is you got a big red button on Instagram, and on Vine, you just touch the screen. So it's whatever, if neither one's very hard to use. And then we move into looping. And so what happens here, the Instagram video does not loop, but if you have great content, people are going to play it again to see it. Now Vine, it continuously loops. So once it plays at 6 seconds, it just starts over, and it starts over, and it starts over. So if you got some animated things, that's kind of fun. You could really do some cool stuff with animations. And then the editability. So in Instagram, you can delete segments, you can add filters, and create that appeal. But with Vine, that's not available. So if you goof up the video on Vine, you have to restart and redo. It's not gonna. You can't just pull out that last section that you didn't like and do it. So I highly suggest when you're doing an Instagram video is just do very short segments, little short bits. Then it's really easy to get it right for 2 or 3 seconds, and then move on to something else, and then back, and then you can just delete backwards as that. And then, of course, the image stabilization. Yes, Instagram has that. Vine doesn't. So one of the things that with Vine, we don't, I've used it before. It's okay. It's cool. There's not a lot there. It's just you just do it, and you can tie it to Twitter. With the Instagram, it's a little more fun, and people are already searching it anyway and spending most of their time on it. The ease of the application with Vine, with Instagram versus Vine, though, is that if a person were already utilizing Instagram, you no longer have to, you don't have to go get a different app. You don't have to go over to Vine and do your video and back. Vine never did do photos, so if you want to do photo sharing and both, you got to open one, do another. The Instagram automatically, basically, when you update your app, it's a standalone app, and once a person updated it, they had the video capabilities. Vine, the only thing that offers that's kind of fun is what's called Revine. So it's much like retweeting on Twitter. If someone has a video you really like, you can Revine it, but it goes nowhere other than Vine. So, I kind of like the fact that if you update your Instagram, you automatically had the video capability, and you didn't have to have another application. So now then, we're going to give you just a few statistics as we'll wind this one up. There's not a lot to Instagram. Too many people complicate it and overthink it, so it's really a pretty simple app and a lot of simplicities to it. It's just about actually doing it more than it is thinking about it. So some statistics on that is 67 of the top brands are now on Instagram, and that's since May. It's jumped from 14% in February. So you can see that they're starting to see an importance of it in some of the statistics as studied by Simply Measured. With those top 100 brands, those 67%, they have over 700 million followers among them. So you can see there's some importance there. And on each of their photos, they have an average of 5,600 engagements per photo. So they're really bringing it about in many great ways to pop that in there. So it's one of them things that it might be the next big thing. So and it's really growing. As we see these big companies jumping on board, obviously they find some value and importance to it. So I think we should too. And that's really going to wrap that up for me today on the Instagram. Like I say, it's not a huge thing. It's not a lot to do, but it's basically as simple as logging in, doing it, creating your account, and make sure when you fill out your account, you make that thorough, that people know what you do and how to find you. Put those links to your website in there and talk about what you do. But I want to give the group at PhotoBiz another big shout out, and thank you for bringing the educational webinars. And feel free to make sure you become a fan of PhotoBiz on Facebook. You can become a fan of Luby on there too, and keep up with a lot of new things. We're excited to be teaching out at East Coast School in North Carolina in a few weeks. We look forward to the next time we can join you here on PhotoBiz. So ask those questions. We really appreciate that. One of the things I challenge everybody to do is for the next 3 days is just light up the social networks, giving some shout outs to PhotoBiz for the great job that they do. So that wraps it up for me.
Well, thank you, Lou, for the great presentation and for the shout out. We have some questions now
Okay.
from the audience, and also if you'd like to ask a question, you can submit it using the question box in the webinar software, or by via Twitter by using the hashtag #PhotobizLive. So let's see. Our first question is from Eric, and Eric has actually a couple of questions. He says, how do you merge all of your followers from all of your Instagram accounts? And then he also, actually that's kind of two different ones, so we'll go with the first one first. How do you merge all your followers from all of your Instagram accounts?
Well, how many Instagram accounts do you need? um, really, you could have a personal one and one for your business. That's really all I would suggest. I mean, if you're going to do 2 accounts, there's not really a good way to merge them other than maybe make a slide and post it and say, hey, follow me over here if you're wanting to get rid of one. We're going to be using this account. There's a company called Beautiful Destinations and Beautiful Hotels, and they post photos and images from pretty places all over the world to vacation. And they went through this having to merge one of their accounts because they actually got hacked. And so what they did was there was I don't know, whoever hacked their account was putting some pretty bad stuff up. So they needed to get down quick. But anyway, they were posting some images, basically little title slides on there just saying to follow this account, and for a couple of days, and at whatever date this account will no longer be active, and we're deleting it. So that would be my best suggestion on that. You can't really force them. Some people just stumble upon you, because they've searched in a hashtag thing. They may never look at the feed again, so you just don't know on that aspect. But I would suggest making a post that would tell people which account to follow you on, and you're urging them to move over to your other account.
Hey, thank you, Lou.
Or give a shout out.
Thank you, Lou. He also asks, how do you attach your images to your Facebook business page and not your personal Facebook page via mobile?
You have to go into the settings in the sharing area. It lets you then attach it to your pages, and that's via a little tab inside there. I'm trying to pull mine up here. There's just no good way. You really can't do it from the web. It's not applicable, so I can't really show that to you there. But what happens is you would go into your Instagram account, and then as you set on the area where it says more, the little to the right there are 3 little buttons at the top, and it would say sharing settings. And then when you go into sharing settings, it'll say Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare, whichever ones you have engaged. And then you can then touch the Facebook application, and it will say share to timeline or share to, and then it'll say choose a page, and then you open up that, and it'll open up all the Facebook pages that you admin for. So if you have 3 Facebook or 10 Facebook pages that you admin, it'll ask you which page you want to share that to. And in that same setting, you can also have it set to show the photos that you like. You'll probably notice that some folks have a thing on their Facebook timeline will show XYZ liked 3 photos on Instagram or wherever. That always comes in there, so you can choose to turn that off or turn that feature on in that same setting.
Thank you, Lou. Let's see, our next question's from Julie, and Julie asks, can you only post pictures to Instagram with pictures taken by your cell phone?
No, you can post them from other photos. You just have to get them on your phone. So sometimes I've shared photos that I've done in class before from teaching photography things around. What I'll do is I'll put them in a Dropbox, and then basically I pull them back to my phone, and then I post them to Instagram from there to show what we've done. Because I'll show these behind-the-scenes things at events we're doing, but then never really see the finished product. So I always then put the finished product in a box, put it on my phone, and then post it from there. But it will need to be made from your phone, yes, but it doesn't have to be taken with the phone.
Oh, great. Thank you, Lou. Okay, let's see. Our next question's from Wendy, and Wendy asks, how do you keep business separate from personal Instagram profiles?
Just in the account you sign up for. You can name your account. My account is Muse Photo Design, our account is, and then I have Lou Everling account. So yeah, just in the account you sign up, and it's your choice how you choose. I put business stuff on my personal one too, just so people can see it from time to time. But for the most part, you'd have to do your 2 separate accounts.
Great, thank you. Okay, our next question is from Trudy. Trudy asks, how do I make Instagram more visible on my Facebook business page? I have a button, but nothing storefront.
Yeah, you can actually, if you go online to the Facebook or to the Instagram website now, Instagram.com, they have badges and embed codes that you can put in various places to put on your website as well. The other way to make it more visible is to tie your page together with your Instagram account, and then start promoting it. Put links to it. Tell people to follow you on Instagram. One of the things we suggested to some of our clients is, hey, are you on Instagram? We set it up beforehand. Are you on Instagram? Oh, yeah, because they're texting and telling their friends about what's going on. We're like, hey, why don't you shoot a bunch of stuff while we're here at your session and tag it, make sure you hashtag it, use photo design or whatever, or hashtag it Lou Everling, and then that way they'll find it. And we want you to talk about it. So you start telling them to take pictures of you, photographing them, and their experience while you're doing stuff, and then they tag it that way. But it's up to you you need to tell people about promoting it, and then just promote it on your website. When we do those tag-ins and the tie-ins with our Facebook page, we notice 2 or 3 new followers each time we do something on Instagram because it's posted on Facebook.
Great, thank you for the answer. Let's see. Adrian has a question. And let me look here. Okay, it says, I'm torn between the nicks for Instagram. I have a wedding photo business. I'm currently using a personal nick for my Instagram. Should I change it to my company's name for the Instagram nick? Because the photos I shoot from time to time don't really reflect my wedding photo business. It's just random street photos.
Yeah, but there again, here's the personal side of that. When we talked earlier about engaging, so, make sure when you do your wedding photos that you hashtag them whatever your wedding business is. And then hashtag your other street photos, random things. It's about making you personal, that people know you're just real. You're not that staunch, wedding photographer that comes out and does things. I think as much as anything today, these days, people want the real person, or they want something real behind them. So we don't always have to show that. One of the things that irritates me the most, and people wonder why, and this is now starting to drive Facebook pages down in rankings, because people on their Facebook business pages aren't personal enough. They're constantly blasting with something on sale, something for sale. Look at what my session is. Look at this. They don't ever react. They don't ever have something funny. They don't have something that just reflects something positive of the day. And to be honest with you, I don't even look at my Facebook feed that much anymore because of all the negativity on it. And what we're seeing, with the kids these days, they don't really want to be on it anyway because their parents are on it and their grandparents are on it now, so it's not the cool place to be. They want to go somewhere where their parents aren't, and they'll check it, but they won't look at it. So we get 3-to-1 difference on likes on photos on Instagram versus Facebook from the youth market. So we're seeing things, and like I say, I don't even like to tune into my Facebook page very much anymore for the news feed, just because it's always people complaining about things. So, I don't want that. I really like to be positive and upbeat about what I'm doing, and I like to be positive and upbeat about life, but I like to be real too. So that's why my Luby page has things that are really funny sometimes. I post a few photos to show about what I'm doing, but most of the time it's quirky observations of society and just whatever's going on. You know that, Joanne.
Indeed,
so,
I do.
It just asks why a lot of times. But anyhow, it doesn't hurt to be real on there too, and people will see that that they are street photos, not your wedding thing. So I wouldn't discount the other side, and I wouldn't worry about it so much. Don't worry about showing yourself as real.
Great, thanks, Lou. Let's see. Our next question is from Neil. Neil says, my daughter has set up our name with underscores, example, photo underscore art underscore industries. Should we not use underscores? Does it make it harder to find us?
Yes, it does. Yep. Yep. I can't explain why it does, but it really does. You just should put it all together. Because it just underscores, they just don't come up right. And if someone types in part of your name, your photo business name, it probably won't see it because it doesn't have the underscore in it. So, yeah, I would advise using the other, just blending it all together.
Great.
It'll differentiate that in searches.
Great. Thanks, Lou. Okay, let's see our next question, and it's from Rachel, and she says, how can you upload Instagram images directly to pages instead of personal profile page?
There again, that's where you have to go to your settings in your Instagram app. You will go, when we talked earlier, my phone actually just died, so I was going to walk through it again, but I think my phone just bit the dust. If you log into your Instagram app from either your iPhone or Droid, you basically go to your settings through there. Oh wait, we might have some power here. We're coming back. I just switched over to a longtime Apple user found that the Samsung beat the other one hands down, so I just made this dreaded, the dreaded switch everybody says. So I'm going to be taking some heat from people, but man, I love this phone. Other than I forgot to put it on the charger this morning. Anyway, you'll log into there, and you'll go to the three little bars above your basic login page, and there's some settings, and it'll be share settings, and you'll go into share settings, and then you'll see Facebook options, and then at that Facebook is where you'll go down, and you can then adjust which page you want it to log into. You can change it from your timeline. You can change it to any Facebook page that you admin, or you can then change it to, and you can also add in to display the photos that you like on Instagram on your timeline. But you'll change that to in that share settings aspect, and then there will be a setting for Facebook share to, and then you can go from there.
Thank you, Lou. Okay, our next question is from Walter. Walter says, is it best to put your website name, link, or hashtag?
In your account settings, where you put all your account info, put your website in there. In your posts that you do, I would put your hashtag in the posts, because you can't really click out. It won't let you click out of the links per se inside those texts, in that text versions aspects of your post. But in your profile, that web link will let a person click on it and go visit you once they look at your profile, so they can then get to you and then hashtag your other in your search or in your posts.
Great, thank you. Okay, let's see. Our next question is from Neil. Neil says, I take it posting on Instagram is a way to keep your name in front of an audience, or is there more to it that I'm missing?
It's the way to keep your name in front of the audience, and it lays another footprint on your search engine aspects. Basically, it'll help your SEO in many ways, because you're dropping another footprint out there. You're dropping another footprint out. And with Facebook, this big acquisition, Facebook is now staging itself to take on Google for a search engine. They've just changed with their open graph that they came out with last year, and some of these new things that they're doing. And many profiles, Facebook profiles, are now changing, especially if you notice the search bar has changed in the layout. They're going to be attacking Google for searches. Facebook owns Instagram. So when people are spending a lot of time on Facebook, and they can actually search the web via their Facebook search engine, you can put yourself at the forefront by being inside their mix. So lay your footprint there with that. And that's just it, keeping them engaged, keeping in front of them.
Great, thank you for that. Let's see. Okay, we have a question from Monica. Monica says, can you remind us how to tag people?
With tagging is just like it was on Facebook now. Once you upload the image, you just click on it, and it'll actually give you a feature underneath the post as you're adding the photo to add people. And you just click on that, and you can add whomever's in your followers list to that. And then you can also, in a different way, it's not really tagging the photo, but you can then let people know that they've had a photo of them put up by using the @ symbol and their handle inside the post that you put up. So inside that text post that you do, you can then reach them with using the @ symbol, because then it's like sending them a message. They'll know that something's happened. You've been messaged or something like that. It'll come up. It'll give you an alert that you've been mentioned in a post, and so then they can go over and look at their photo. They can then add themselves too. That's as well.
Great, thank you. Let's see. Christina she says, this may sound like a simple question, but how do you delete an Instagram photo from your account? I cannot find it.
Yeah, that's a good question. And it is feasible. I just have to remember how to do this, because I don't think I've got enough power yet to keep going here every time I tried to do this. As you go into My Photos that you've done, and that's basically over to the right-hand side when you log into here. Let me just scooch back to one of these images here, and I can show you here. So as you would go right here to this little setting, let's just click on this. You would click on that, and then what happens is that's going to open up My Photos. And then with My Photos, you'll be able to then choose to delete that, and you just click on the image, and then it brings up, like any other application does, the option to delete. So that, yeah, hopefully that answers your question there.
Great, thank you. Let's see. Adrian was looking for some clarification about his earlier question. He says, in terms of my nick, should I use my personal nick or my company name?
What is the company name, I guess?
Okay, we'll come back to that when.
Yeah. I mean, it just is going to depend on what they're doing. So, what happens with me is I log out of Muse, and then I go into Lou Everling when I'm going to be funny and do the beer photos or something like that that we do, or whatever goofy stuff we put up there. When I know we're doing sessions and other things, then I log into the Muse account, and I just use that. There's really no differentiation, of anything other than I just switch accounts. That'd be the best way to do it if you're worried about mixing them.
Great, thank you. Let's see, we have a question from Gabriel. This is an interesting question. Gabriel asks, is it worth it to buy followers and likes?
No. With that, really, followers and likes, if you buy them, there are people that's not going to do anything any good for you. Those are bogus accounts that are set up to make people look like they have more followers. That you don't want. You would rather have quality followers. I'd rather have 100 quality followers than I would 1,000 followers who are useless. So, because those 1,000 aren't ever going to partake in anything you probably ever do. Whereas if you have 100 people that are following you because they want to, more than likely 20% of them are probably going to come to you for some sort of service down the road. So that's much better, and those things are expensive, unless you just want to be on the popular page with your photos and then build up some followers. That way, that's fine and dandy, but I would really work on finding quality followers as opposed to just buying them. It's like the Facebook pages are the same way. I mean, I know of people who bought 10,000 followers, and really they only have about 30 real potential clients on their page, but they can brag about all the likes, but it's really not helping them in any way because they're not moving around, So concentrate on getting quality followers.
Great, thank you. Let's see, our next question is from Christina. Christina asks, how do you create a unique hashtag? Do you just keep using # your business name, or is there something else that I need to do? What if someone else uses the same hashtag for something else?
Oh, you're going to find that there are probably a lot of people have the same hashtag, because it's like musician. It's kind of like music. Some song always sounds the same. Somebody's done it before. Um, but the unique hashtag could be your prefix to your business name, and then the client's name, or anything you can think of will make a unique hashtag. Don't worry about it if someone else has actually done it before, because it's kind of like cupcakes. We did creative cupcakes on one of our photos. When we did that, there were about 100 other photos up there, but they were all cupcake, very similar bakeries that had done things kind of like what we were doing, not in the same photo-wise, but they were doing the same thing as the cupcake company we were working in. But it actually netted followers for everybody. So don't worry about the fact that somebody else might have a similar hashtag or the same hashtag for some things. The generic hashtags are always going to be that way. You could pull up a, I love, well, just like that, the I love photo, or PhotoBiz loves me has 139 on there, 139 images, and that's all things people have done working with PhotoBiz through the years. We could do, you could do hashtag hearts and probably come up with thousands of images. So for wedding photographers, you could just put love is in the air, or anything you want, you can think of. Just get as creative as you want, and that will make it there. So, or wedding photography, but you could put wedding photography in your area, so whatever your location is, or 50 miles around you. So you can do a lot of things with that as well, and that'll start to narrow that scope, especially if you put your location on there. So, but it is searchable, and then you can take those and go on the net and search those hashtags, and that stuff will start turning up for you.
Great, thank you, Lou. Okay, got a couple questions that are actually related from a couple of different people. Walter asks, what kind of promos or games can you do on Instagram? And then I also have a question from Neil who says, is there a way to run a contest to get their followers to follow you?
You could suggest to them that they do repost. There's an app called Repost, Insta Repost. You can have them repost that and hashtag it. You can get as creative as you want. I mean, there's just things that go on with this that right now there are no real rules on there for that. So it's not like the Facebook aspect that says, games have to do this and can't do that, yada, yada, yada. So you can kind of run your own system on that as well, and then turn that into some great advertising for you. But yeah, you could say, utilize this app and repost and share to gain, followers. You really would have it, you could probably sit down and track it, how many people come on board. But the problem with, issuing an award for somebody who got you the most followers, you wouldn't know whose thing they came off of. So it'd be hard to identify with that. But you could put them into drawings, each time that's hashtag, the more people come up, there's ways to do that. Now, you could probably run through OfferPop, and some of these other tab integration companies are starting to build some things into their Facebook tabs, so you can run those through there. Those are options available for that. Hope that kind of helped there.
Okay, let's see here. Eric says when you post a photo via Instagram to your Facebook business page, it posts as a link, not a picture. You have to click the link to see the photo. Is there any way to see the post as a photo from the beginning and not a link?
That shouldn't be happening, because I've never had that happen. So mine come up as a photo, but then it links to your Instagram because it doesn't have inline viewing on the photos now. So when they click on that photo, they'll take them to an Instagram online. But so he may have to check his settings on his Facebook page to see why that's posting that way, because there's nothing in Instagram that does that says it's just a link. So he might want to check the settings on his Facebook page. And I'll research that a little bit more, but I've never seen that happen. So I don't know why that would be doing that from the Instagram side.
Okay, next question here is from Rupert. Rupert says, how do I increase followers outside of friends and family? How are people finding me other than searching specific hashtags? And thanks.
You need to post it in your emails, on your website, on your Facebook, anytime you do an email blast to your client base, make sure you tell people, tell people to follow you on Instagram. Run a promotion that's Instagram specific, but they got to follow you on Instagram to get those details. Many years ago, when the first time we really integrated Twitter with a lot of things in its early days, that was how we built Twitter followers. The only way they could get a certain prize or a discount or promo was to follow us on Twitter. So that usually netted 200 to 300 followers each time back in the early days. So, if folks wanted to save, and I would do that on email blast, on printed materials, anything out there, I would make sure to put the follow on Instagram. And you're not going to build them really fast overnight. So, I mean, when you first sign on to the account, it probably will, but then it's just kind of a slow process after that. But make sure you promote it in all your networks and on your website. Which is cool with the PhotoBiz, links on your websites, that you can add that into our social media there right on the bottom now.
So let's see, we got okay, we have a question from Rick, and Rick says, first he says, "You're the man, Luby." Then he says, "Is there a limit to the number of characters you can have in a hashtag?"
No, but I would keep the hashtags to 4 to 6. I've seen as many as 30 words hashtagged on there, and it just looks tacky. To me, it looks like a person's desperate for followers and that they just have nothing better to type than a ton of hashtags. So I would keep it to 5 or 6 relevant ones or less. And then a nice message inside there that's got some good content to it. And thanks for the shout out, Rick.
Great, thank you. Let's see, I think we have time for one last question.
All right.
And let's see here. Okay, we have a question from Brian. Brian wants to know if being recently married gives you less time for social media.
Yes, it does. Actually, I don't want social media that much anymore. That's funny. Yes. No, I'm just it's just nice. We got the baby and I spend time with family, and we shut things off, and we just spend our time doing what we do. So that's why you don't see me on Facebook that much, because I think I would like to run a psychological survey or social survey sometime that talks about the frequency of Facebook posts as compared to happiness for people. So I think the unhappier people are, the more they post, probably. So it'd be neat to see one of those university surveys on that. But we don't. Thanks for that too, Brian. So, but yeah, it's all good.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody, for all the great questions. And thank you so much, Lou, for taking the time to talk today about Instagram. I want to thank everybody who joined us today. We will be we did record today's webinar, and it will be posted on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/photobiz. Also, be sure to check out our blog and watch your email for updates about future webinars. Our next webinar will be The Power of Subsites with Paul from our own passionate support team. That'll be Tuesday, July 23rd at 2 p.m. Thanks again, Lou. And this concludes our episode.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a great time. This concludes our episode of PhotoBiz Live. Everybody have a great day.